Quite ironically, despite the constant preaching about social distancing and avoiding physical contact amid the COVID 19 pandemic, one sport has made a successful return: boxing. Yes, of all sports, boxing, where staying 1 meter apart isn't exactly ideal. But here we are. Several boxing events have already been staged in the US, while the United Kingdom is set to host more this month. But here in the Philippines, where boxing has been long part of our tapestry, the sport has yet to make a return. The country's top fighters, however, continue to prepare as they await that opening bell once again. That's our headline in tonight's edition of Sports Page.
Evening and welcome to Sports Page. I'm Seb Sarmenta. Tonight we will be exchanging blows, figuratively, of course. And in the other corner is my partner for tonight, none other than attorney Charlie Cuna. And boxing is our topic tonight, attorney.
Thanks so much, Seb. It's a pleasure to join you here today. Joining us today here on Sports Page are our special guests. The Secretary General of the Amateur Boxing Association of the Philippines, Manong Ed Picson, is with us today, as well as three-time SEA Games gold medalist, my man, Eumir Marcial. And we'll dive right into this. Sir Seb, shoot away.
Yes, let's start with Ed Picson. Ed, boxing has yet to return. What's the state of first boxing in general in the Philippines, both amateur and I know you're well versed into the professional as well. Ano ang sitwasyon natin and are we coming back anytime soon?
Well, with the news that a couple of sports have already been allowed by the IATF to resume, we are optimistic na susunod na yung boxing, no? As a matter of fact, I will be sending out a letter tomorrow to the PSC to appeal for their assistance in having boxing reactivated because as your intro pointed out, sa ibang lugar, no? In the US, in the United Kingdom, they've already resumed boxing activities professionally. And as far as the national teams are concerned, alam ko na several national federations have already started getting their boxers back together, and they have been training already. So medyo mahuhuli tayo. But hopefully, we can get the boxers back together again and resume our training activities.
Well, Manong Ed, do you think that given the current situation, we've seen the COVID-19 cases rising almost every day, it's spreading all over the world still, very much active. Don't you think that the return of a sport like boxing, which is close contact, it might be a bit premature?
Well, as I said, no, yeah, we will defer to the wisdom of the IATF, the Department of Health, and all the other authorities concerned. We do not have the competence to actually determine whether it's safe or not. So, kung sabihin ng IATF at Department of Health na ligtas tayo sa anumang masamang pangyayari, katalima naman ang abak. Of course, we will submit our proposed protocols in order to make sure na yung gagawin namin mga activities ay safe for the boxers and everyone else concerned.
Ed, may effect ba yung walang audience ang most sports? May effect ba yan sa boxing? Alam mo naman sa amateur meron o wala, tuloy ang boxing, di ba?
That's correct, Seth. You know, we don't really care whether there is an audience or not. Alam ni Eumir yan, marami na kaming tournament na pinuntahan na wala gaanong tao, pero tuloy pa rin ang boxing, ika. So, ang importante dyan, yung resulta ng performance ng ating mga boxers. And of course, especially when you talk about the Olympics and the qualifying tournament which has yet to happen, dapat nangyari yun last May. yung World qualifying tournament, which was supposed to have been held last May in Paris, eh, hindi natuloy. And then there are two more continental qualifiers, no? Yung Europe and Americas, which have also yet to be held. So, depende yan, ano? Kung ano man ang pagdesisyonan, both by the IOC, dahil yung IOC ngayon ang namamahala sa boxing, uh, in the Olympic boxing, as it were. And we will have to see what the IOC decides.
Okay, tanungin natin si Eumir. Eumir, medyo nablangko muna ang boxing. Marami tayo tatanong sa'yo, pero kamusta ang iyong kondisyon? Anxious ka ba? Walang laban? Walang masyadong training? O puro ikaw lang ang nag-i-sparring? Anong balita sa'yo, Eumir?
Every morning lang po, nag-exercise po ako. Hello, sir. Nag-exercise po ako. And sa hapon naman po, may training kami sa Messenger. Kasama yung mga coaches at kasamaan ko po sa Ultra. Nagtitraining na video call. May program pa rin binibigay yung ABAP sa amin. Si Coach Don Abnet, yung consultant coach namin, and si Coach Ronald. And yung mga ibang coaches ay nagtitraining sa via na lang po Messenger.
Okay, nasira ba timing, tempo? Yung Olympics biglang na-cancel. Anong nangyari sa iyo? Anong pakiramdam mo?
Ayun sir, sa question nyo, sa akin po, tinake ko po yun as a positive, no? Dahil inisip ko, mas makapag-prepare po ako, mas mahaba yung panahon namin, yung ABA, mas makapaghanda po kami sa ensayo namin.
Okay. Charlie?
Yeah, ako naman may tanong din para kay Eumir, no? Laging sinasabi ng mga fans, yung mga expectations para sa mga boxers natin, who is going to be the next Manny Pacquiao? Naiisip mo ba yun na para abutin itong mga naabot ni Manny Pacquiao sa kanyang career? Pressure ba para sa iyo yung mga ganyang klaseng pagsabi ng mga fans natin?
Sa akin naman po, sir, hindi ko inisip kung ano yung kumbaga gagayahin ko si Senator Manny, kung ano yung mahirap yun, yung na-achievement, yung mga nagawa ni Senator Manny, sobrang hirap yun at isa lang po yung Manny Pacquiao. So, yun sa akin siguro sir, yung sa akin po, isa lang po yung pangarap ko sir simula nung nag-umpisa ako ng mag-boxing is yung ma-qualify ako sa Olympic at makuha po yung gold medal sa Olympic.
Okay, we have a lot of questions and a lot of things to talk about still. We'll ask Ed, of course, about the situation of the other boxers and qualifiers who were not able to go into their tournaments and what's up with them. So much more to talk about when we return here to the Sports Page. Basketball legend and currently OIC of the Philippine Sports Commission, straight coming over from Cebu to Manila, the one and only Ramon S. Fernandez. Mon, welcome back to Manila. And we have a few questions here on Sports Page. First, you were interested in opening some of the gyms and the training facilities if papayagan ng IATF?
Yes, especially for in this case, kay Marcial, no? Pwede namang gamitin yung boxing gym sa Rizal Sports Complex. Nag-iisa naman doon yun. As long as may kanya-kanyang schedule. I think dalawa pa lang naman ang nag-qualify the boxers natin, no? So, hindi lang sila sabay mag-practice doon. At siguro wala pang sparring, no? Get back in the best physical shape muna. And we will move on from there, no?
How did the process of agreeing or allowing Eumir Marcial to be able to turn pro, and what is the position of the Philippine Sports Commission as far as his allowances, his support is concerned? Maapektuhan ba yan?
Palagay ko hindi naman, sir. We have been supporting him financially ever since, for how many years already, going uh, through the qualifying, all the way to the qualifying games na. We were supporting him. How much more now that he has qualified for the Olympics? Because we all know for a fact that pros can now play in the Olympics starting, I think, 2016. No, my position is we have to support him all the way because I believe he is one of our most probable gold medalists in the Olympics.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Mon Fernandez.
Bye bye. Stay
Again.
safe.
Arguably, the most talked about Pinoy boxer these days, not named Manny Pacquiao, is Eumir Marcial. He has recently decided to jump the professional ranks as he takes on new challenges in his young career. But it definitely won't be easy, especially in a gritty middleweight class. At the top of the list is Canelo Alvarez, who many experts say is the world's top pound-for-pound fighter these days. There's also his rival, Gennady Golovkin, who has the highest knockout percentage among all the top bets. Next is WBO champion and still undefeated Demetrius Andrade, who was also a star in the amateur ranks. His compatriot and fellow undefeated fighter Jermel Charlo is also a hard-punching challenger with 22 knockouts. And 34-year-old Sergey Derevianchenko may not have an extensive record, but he is definitely a grizzled warrior. Then there's also a familiar name in Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao in controversial fashion back in 2017. Get right into it. Itatanong na natin, Eumir, anong thoughts mo? Ready ka na ba makipagbakbakan doon sa mga professional boxers na mga kalaban mo?
Sa ngayon, sa experience ko naman no, sa amateur, and for how many years, ang dami ko na daanan. And yung amateur is parang pro na naman din. Wala na kaming headgear, yung score. Sa tingin ko naman, sa tulong ng mga coaches ko sa ABAP still, and yung madagdagan po no, yung experience ko. So I think ready na po ako to turn pro, and ganun pa rin, yung Olympics pa rin. Kumbaga sa isip ko ngayon, Olympics pa rin yung priority ko, yung dream ko. Kumbaga yung pagpasok ko sa pro is kumbaga madagdagan po yung experience ko, yung kumpiyansa ko. Siguro before Olympics makapag 3 fights o 2 fights ako. Pero sa isip ko pa rin ngayon is Olympics pa rin, yun pa rin yung nasa main priority ko po.
Okay. Ed, can you tell us as much as you can about the process that went into the discussion between Mir and the ABAP in settling this issue?
Well, what we know is that, as Commissioner Mon Fernandez said earlier, the PSC will continue their support to Eumir. So there's no problem there. Ang inaalala lang namin kasi may nakapagsabi sa akin noon na pag nag-pro daw si Eumir, titigil yung suporta from the government. But now that the PSC has come out in the open and said that they will continue the support, then the problem is solved. So wala kaming inaalala as far as that aspect is concerned. Ngayon, dun sa pagdating sa Olympics, makailang ulit na kami nag-usap ni Eumir, kasama yung presidente namin, si Mr. Ricky Vargas, and we assured him that when the Olympics come around, and whether he is a pro or not, he will be our top bet sa middleweight division, 75 kilos. So there is also no danger there. As a matter of fact, sa ngayon, alam niyo Eumir yan, wala namang ibang middleweight kami sa national team. Mahirap yan. Mahirap yung timbang na yan. Bihirang-bihira ang Pilipino na maabot yan sa 75 kilograms. So that slot is safe for Eumir. He has qualified. So I don't see any problems as far as that's concerned.
Sige, Ed, you're the more astute boxing person compared to most of us here. May differences ba? May epekto ba yung amateur, iba ang rules yung pro? Meron bang kailangan i-anticipate si Eumir or just fight? Ano bang outlook niya?
Well, Ymir is one of those boxers na very dedicated yan sa kanyang craft, no? And he knows the ins and outs, so whether in the amateur ranks or in the professional. So, alam ko makaka-adjust siya. Of course, the biggest difference really is yung haba ng laban, no? Sa amateurs kasi, sa Olympic style boxing, 3 round lang. Now, in the professionals, it's either you go to 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12 rounds. So may adjustment then. Pero alam ko si Eumir is very conscious of his physical conditioning. Masipag na bata yan, disiplinado. So wala ko nakikitang problema. Alam naman niya kung ano ang kailangan niyang gawin para makapag-adjust, whether going from amateur to professional or vice versa.
Charlie?
Well, sa galing ni Eumir Marcial, of course, yung potential niya na maging successful in this world of pro boxing. Marami siguro mga promoters na nag-aagawan para ma-sign siya under their outfits, no? But we believe that you might be close to signing. Malapit ka na siguro, Eumir, mag-sign baka sa MP Promotions. Ano ba mga nangyari doon sa prosesong yon, no, sa pagpipili ng promoter mo at gaano ka nang kalapit na pumirma sa isang promoter na tuloy-tuloy na kayo magsasama?
Nakapatay yata yung...
Eumir, I think baka nakamute ka. Hindi ka namin marinig.
Yeah, sige.
Hello?
Ayun, sige.
Sagutin mo ulit.
Hello?
Yeah, pakiulit
Sir,
na lang.
hello. Opo. So, ayun, yun sa akin po, sa ngayon, inayos ko po sa contract na walang magiging problem po for the Olympics. And dapat nakalagay po sa kontrata na i-allowed nila ako, yung priority is yung Olympics pa rin. And ayun, so far naman po, okay sila lahat doon, supportive sila sa lahat ng namin ko po sa amateur. Kaya hopefully soon po, and makausap ko po ulit sila Sir Ed, sila Sir Ricky Vargas, at maayos po namin ulit po lahat.
Just one quick question before we end this segment. Ed, what's the situation about the other qualifiers? And we have one other boxer, no? Yung woman fighter natin, I think is already in the games.
Yes, si Iris Magno is qualified for the Olympics. Dalawa sila ni Eumir. So we're very happy about that. And just like Eumir, parehong, itong dalawang boksingerong ito, hindi naman sa I'm disparaging the other boxers, pero sa national team, itong dalawa, si Eumir at Irish, ay dalawa sa pinaka masigasig, dedicated na mga boksingero. So we're very confident that they will make sure na hindi mawala sa kanilang pagkakahawak yung qualification nila, no, by being very dedicated in their training. Pero hindi lang naman sila, yung ibig sabihin, no. Bagamat sila ay dalawa sa pinaka masigasig na boksingero sa national team, nandiyan pa rin si Nestor Quintesio, halimbawa. Nandiyan pa rin si Roger Ladon, who was in the Olympics in 2016. Si Carlo Paadam, si Charlie Suarez, who is a pro, ay tumawag sa akin at lumaban siya sa SEA Games, no? You will recall, and this is the SEA Games. And he has also indicated na gusto niyang lumaban sa Olympic qualifiers. So far, wala pang word, no? Wala pang balita galing sa IOC kung kailan yung World Qualifying Tournament. Unahin nila siguro yung Europe at yung America. Kung natapos pa lang kasi yung Africa at saka yung Asia and Oceania, which Eumir and Irish participated and qualified in. So we need to hear from the IOC as far as that's concerned.
Okay, Charlie?
All right. Well, considering that we are in this quarantine and it's hard to get back into boxing, it looks like the ABAP and its fighters are really, preparing anyway, and they're looking forward to getting into the action as soon as possible. Hopefully, boxing can return. Is there any other step, Sir Ed? Is it just the go signal from the IATF, and once they say everything is good, then everything will start rolling already para sa inyo?
Yes, of course. We have been meeting with the coaches and especially our foreign consultant and training director, Sir Don Abnet, who has been working with us for the past year at malaking papel ang kanyang ginagampanan para ayusin yung training activities. No? Meron na kami mga programa na nakahanda. As soon as the prohibition is lifted, then we will buckle down to work, and hopefully we can get all the boxers together as soon as possible.
That's great. Okay, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll get to hear your thoughts about tonight's headline. That's coming right up when Sports Page returns. Welcome back to Sports Page. ABA President Ricky Vargas recently said that the boxing competition in next year's Tokyo Olympics is the Philippines' biggest chance to win its first ever gold medal in the Summer Games. Do you agree? Well, let's find out on That's What They Said. Christopher Manaloto said that this is a sport we're really good at. If there's enough support like funding, structures, trainings, regular international competitions, I'm sure we can regularly get gold medals. Sabi naman ni Gerardo Villadolid, yes, I believe in Eumir Marcial to deliver us the gold medal. Hopefully Filipinos support our kababayan. He's a great boxer indeed. He is. Eds Balikod naman, sabi niya, agree, 92 and 96, Velasco Brothers, bronze and silver. Konting push na lang sana, sayang, sabi niya. However, AC Cruz says not boxing unless may include na ang billiards or pool as an Olympic sport. We're never gonna win a gold medal in the Olympics. Well, we never know. And that's what they said.
Okay. Yan ang kanilang opinion, ano? Eumir, may pressure ba? Alam ko magaling ka, wala namang question yun eh. Pero may pressure ba na maging first Filipino to win an Olympic gold medal?
Una-una sa lahat po, sir, na nagpapasalamat po ako sa sa tiwala na mga message na binibigay niya. Naririnig ko yung tiwala na binibigay na sa akin. Maraming salamat po. Pero sa akin naman, hindi naman, medyo konting pressure, pero alam po natin lahat is wala pang nakakuha ng gold sa Olympics dahil mahirap po. Kaya in-expect nila sa akin, pero alam ko na alam nila na mahirap. Sobrang hirap kunin yung gold. So siguro po magte-training na lang po ako ng maayos at ipagdasal ko sa Panginoon at hiningi ko po na sana suportahan nila po ako. Yun na.
Balita ko, yung tatay mo malaking tulong sa iyo na maging magaling na boksero, yung tatay mo. Totoo ba yan?
Yes po, siya po talaga yung nag-training sa akin, and sa lahat po ng achievement ko, yung pag-gold ko sa SEA Games, lahat po inaalay ko po para sa aking ama yon. At itong Olympics po, ito po yung regalo ko po sa kanya. Sa lahat po ng sakripisyo niya. Ang dami namin pinagdaanan. Simula pa lang nung mga National Open, mga regional meet, palarong pambansa, sa mga tournament sa probinsya dati. Ang dami namin pinagdaanan ng tatay ko. Parati kami magkasama. Ang haba po, sir, ang haba ng story ko, ang dami naming mahirap na pinagdaanan ng tatay ko. Nung nagsimula pa lang ako mag-boxing, ito na yung pinapangarap namin. Agbay-agbay niya ako. Sana, sabi niya, Dong, sana makapunta ka sa Olympics at makuha mo yung gold. Yun lang yung pangarap ko sa buhay. Hindi lang hindi niya man natupad sa mga pamangkin niya, sa anak niya, sa mga kapatid ko na panganay, pero sana sa akin daw matulungan niya. At sobrang napapasalamat po ako sa tatay ko dahil yung tinuro niya sa akin po yung disiplina and respeto po sa ibang tao. Yun yung kumbaga laking pasalamat ko dahil tinuruan niya ako sa ganun.
Okay, Charlie, very grateful boxer. Salamat, Eumir. Charlie, may questions ka pa?
Yes, just one for Manong Ed. I mean, I'm sure the fans want to know. Boxing's been one of the more popular sports. We're looking for that medal in the Olympics. What's the outlook for the sport in the near future, Manong Ed?
Ba't ako Manong Ed? Si Seb lang. Teka muna, nawala yata ako. Kasi yung marami nga nagsasabi, even Mr. Vargas has said na this is our best chance. That's because we have really striven. Talagang pinagsikapan ng ABAC sa tulong ng Philippine Sports Commission at ng aming mga private sponsors na mabigyan ng magandang oportunidad ng ating mga boxers. Lalo na nung nakaraang taon, wala yata ako hiniling sa PSC na hindi binigay. Dun sa aming paghahanda para sa SEA Games, kasama na rin para dun sa Olympic qualifier. So gusto namin suklian yung binigay, hindi lang ng gobyerno, ngunit ganun din sa private sponsors, and yung tiwala ng ating mga kababayan. Pero maidagdag ko lang, hindi mahirap kasi kung ang may tinatarget ka. Mas maganda siguro na paghandaan ng mabuti, pagsikapan, at gawin ang lahat para nang sa gayong pagdating sa Olympics, our boxers are at their best. Now, alam natin maraming variables, maraming mga factors na we have to consider. But if you are there as prepared and as fit as they can be, then our chances are even bigger. We cannot promise anything, but except that our boxers will be ready, prepared, and as fit as they can be.
Well, that's
Yun,
great.
Charlie.
That's
Magandang
great.
final note mula kay, sorry, Manong Ed daw.
Alam mo, Mang Sebio,
Well, on that note, we'd like to thank our guests for today, ABAP Secretary General Ed Picson, and of course, our hopeful for that gold medal, Eumir Marcial. Maraming salamat, gentlemen, for joining us today. Seb Sarmenta,
Thank you,
what's
thank
your
you.
final take on that headline?
Well, what if? That's probably the biggest question for many of us these days. What if the COVID-19 pandemic didn't happen? What if everything was just normal? What if sports didn't have to shut down? The virus hit us like a haymaker out of nowhere, and this year's crop of Pinoy pugilists, including the very good Eumir Marcial, who was supposed to fight in the Tokyo Olympics, was dubbed as the members of the Golden Batch. They were ready to compete, but it'll have to wait. Boxing in the Philippines also has to wait. Kahit sa mga piyesta, wala mo ng boxing. Pero not all is lost. Pinoy boxers can still fight abroad, and there are still fights to be made and belts to be won. Maybe not for now, but in the near future. As we always say, Ed Picson and all of us would say, hindi patapos ang boxing. In behalf of Attorney Charlie Cuna and all our guests here today, this is Seb Sarmenta saying thank you for joining us. We bring to a close this edition, Sports Page.